that's why divorce was so high during COVID as well, because everybody had to now stay at home, and then they realised that they don't actually really like their partner.
Exactly. Can you imagine? Oh, yeah, gosh, can you imagine?
A lot. Like,
yeah, it did.
It's highest.
Yeah.
Because everyone was working at home, and they thought, this guy that's never here, and then he's here, and I actually don't really like him being here.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, because that disconnect was there, and then all of a sudden we're now pushed together.
Exactly, yeah. So both of you work long hours. How do you, I know, so both of you work long hours. I know you try to like book things to do together. So how do you sustain your marriage where so does it ever get to a point where it's like you feel like you haven't been out or done anything with Tane for a long time, and you feel like, oh, it's getting a bit, you know, like, so how do you manage to sustain it working all those long hours?
You know, I'd say, you know, we're far from perfect. We actually went and did counselling.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think, I'll be honest, I believe that everybody needs counselling.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you have a problem, or it's just for you to kind of find a way sometimes to communicate, because when things are necessarily not going right, or everything becomes too stressful, and then you're kind of like both bickering, you know, or having like certain issues, even just spending time. Sometimes you just need that person in the middle to listen and talk to.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in a marriage, there's a lot of like, oh, he doesn't do this, or she doesn't do enough of that, or she's always at work and not bothered about me, or, you know, or he doesn't do enough for the kid, you know, just the normal things that people, you know, argue about in marriage. Sometimes you just need that middle person to kind of
like mediate.
Let you speak.
Yeah,
mediator, to let you kind of get everything out that you're feeling.
Yeah.
And relaying that back to your partner.
Yeah.
You know, just to say, you know, this is what she said, or this is what he said, and this is how they feel about it. Rather than discussing things when emotions are high.
Exactly, yeah, because that's not necessarily the best time. And sometimes it echoes a lot louder if it's coming from a third party, which is, you know, you think that's sad, but sometimes it needs to be from someone else for like someone to hear it. So that's actually really good that you go counselling. Apart from your counsellor, do you guys take marriage advice from anyone else?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, and that's the thing. I feel I'm very careful about how I get advice, because definitely. I'll be honest, I think it's very difficult when that person that you're getting the advice from doesn't either understand the full story or live in your shoes. Yeah. So, for instance, I might speak to a woman who's been married for 20 years or 30 years, however long anyway, and then she's advising me like, oh, you know, you must do this for your husband, do that for your husband, you know, oh, you know, you must always be there when he, you know, things like that. And then you think, but she doesn't have the business desire that I have and the strain that I feel. Yeah. So what she's saying, I'm not saying it doesn't work for her and her home, but that necessarily might not work for me. So exactly. I'm very careful. So, you know, I pick little things out of different scenarios, situations people are having, but I never turn around and think to myself, oh my God, that's how it must be. Yeah. Because that's not the case. And once you start comparing and looking at other people, to be honest, you're setting yourself up for problems. And that's why social media for me, you know, I limit the amount of things I listen to or take on board. Yeah, no, that's very smart. Yeah. I feel a lot of people fabricate, a lot of people are not realistic, and they paint this pretty picture of marriage and you know, and how things should be and how business should be. I mean, I'll be honest, when I look at a lot of it, I laugh because I think, well, is that really it?
Yeah.
So you have to be very, very careful about how you take advice from other people or what you see on social media.
With a pinch of salt, I would say. And obviously apply it to everyone, applies it to, you know, is each to their own, to be honest. And you could have someone that's like, oh, especially like them aunties or even people's parents as well. They think that because they've been married for so many more years, everything is gospel that they say. But it definitely is how it can apply to your marriage and how it can work in your home. So do you take any time for yourself? Because with everything going on, I'm like, where does Sola find time to go and look beautiful, do her nails? You know, you look beautiful anyway, but I'm sure there's little things that you do for yourself just to relax. I know you go to the gym and you stay fit, so that's really good. But when do you have time for yourself?
Just as you mentioned, I do go to the gym, and that's one of the main things that I do for myself. I think you've got to know what you want to do for yourself and what it makes you feel like. So I spend a lot of mornings in the gym. Yeah. Because it actually helps me like refresh myself. I go to gym classes. And it's not just even about the gym classes. Actually being in a room with people that don't know me, don't know what I do at all. Yeah. And makes me feel just another person, just getting on with life. Yeah. You know, with other women. And mentally it distresses me. And generally makes me happier. Yeah. So I when I first really started working out, I was working out more for you know, weight loss, things like that, but now I didn't realise the effects that it would have on my mood and the way that it makes me feel, rather than just even the way that it makes me look. Yeah. And that's, I feel like a lot of people should spend a bit of time working on themselves, because I feel better. I feel happier. Yeah. And then when I look at myself as well, I feel proud of the work that I put in. Yeah. Keeping it snatched. So that alone, for me personally, is time for me. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I do also meet up with my friends now. Yeah. Not as, I'll be honest, not as much as I should, but I have really good friends that understand. You know, how busy I am at most times, especially juggling all the things that we've discussed, marriage, kids, and the businesses. But when we do meet up, you know, which are old school friends, because I'm not really somebody that makes new friends very easily. Yeah. So all my friends I have are from like secondary school, even primary school. So when we meet up, we catch up, and that makes me feel good. Yeah. So yeah, with regards to that's what I enjoy, and take that time out for myself. That's really good, because even though you went to the gym, I'm sure for the physical aspect at first, you realised that, you know, it, and the thing is, exercise does definitely do a lot for people's mental health. So if you're not exercising already, I definitely recommend it a lot for your mood, and I'm sure it gives you more energy because you do it at the beginning of the day. I'm sure it gives you more energy throughout the day as well, and especially I'm sure you need the energy with everything that's going on. Like, you can't be lacking energy. I'm sure you're literally like Energizer Bunny, because you definitely do the things that you know you need for yourself to be able to sustain everything that's going on, which is really good. So over the years, because I know this has happened to me, have you ever felt like you've lost yourself as a woman, you know, being a mum, being a wife, working so hard? Have you ever felt like you've lost yourself? Yeah, definitely. I feel at the point where I really felt that I had was when I had my first daughter. Yeah. It was a bit of a shock for me. Obviously, you know, it was good. But I started feeling a lot of feelings that I'd not really felt before. Yeah. Because at that very moment, I felt, let me even go back why I felt like that. So from a young age, I lost my mum, and I felt like since that happened, I've kind of always like been on the go. So, because I come from quite a large family, I'm one of 5 siblings, being the eldest child. And my dad also ran businesses. And I felt like I had to step in and do the mother role. So I did that for so long. I felt that I never really had the time to focus on myself and grow myself and actually enjoy, just being a young, free adult or even teenager. So I felt like at that very moment, I was just on the go, helping my dad, working, in the family business, just working, focus. And then, and I still did it up until even having